Welcome to the creative side of things,
where we empower and inspire business owners and entrepreneurs to tap into their inner creative,
from standing out in saturated markets
to debunking and challenging the status quo.
We'll learn firsthand from actual small business owners how they've applied creativity, imagination, and common sense to grow their businesses. I'm Javier, Chief Creator and founder of High Ground Creative.
And I'm Megan, founder and CEO of Cheek & Co. Clothing.
I'm Gen X and her dad.
I'm Gen Z and his favorite daughter.
Oh, that's debatable.
Well, it's not up for debate. Together we are creative thinkers,
design experts,
branding gurus,
imagination igniters,
and coffee addicts. Keep listening and we'll prove it to you.
Hey, you might learn something.
Imagine that.
Ready?
Let's get creative. Hello, right brainers. Welcome back to the creative side of things. I am your co-host, Megan McCulley. I am now married.
What happened?
Can I get a little yellow button action, please? Thank
All right, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm still her father, but
yes.
we don't share the same last name.
But now you
anymore.
have a son.
I do have a son. He's a wonderful young man.
So this is my co-host, my dad.
Hello everybody.
Introduce
Good to see
yourself.
everybody. Right brainers. My name is Javier. Yours, her father, and welcome to the creative side of things, where we empower and inspire business owners and entrepreneurs and anybody else
to tap into their inner creative.
Because everybody's creative.
Yes, in their own way.
In their own way, right. So we like to dive in there and find ways of how we use imagination and creativity to solve problems and move forward in life and in business.
Yes.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Using examples from guests or topics, we just have been really hitting it hard. Our season 2 is a really cool topic.
Yeah, we've been. Yeah, this is fantastic. We're well on our way. So our theme this season, if this is the first time you listened or watched us, is Acres of Diamonds. Acres of Diamonds. Why? The reason is because we want everybody to realize wherever you are, whether you're here in Delaware or if you're like outside, that go conquer the world, go expand your territory, but don't neglect your backyard, because there's a lot of gems and diamonds, not diamonds in right there. Just start in your backyard. So we're focusing on those gems and those people in Delaware because that's where we are.
Yes.
As an example of what you can find. Little old Delaware, second smallest state in the union.
I wish that was ironic that we're like in the diamond state and we're doing acres of diamonds.
You know, I love it. You're like,
that worked really well.
Your parents must have raised you right. Wow.
My dad must have been like so creative.
I just need to talk to your parents. I think they're really cool.
Wah, wah, wah.
Which one is that one?
I think it's blue. I color coordinated.
Thank you.
That's how my brain works.
I love
like,
that.
Really happy. It's like yellow. Does that happen to you? Like, are you the type of person who will associate like a day of the week with a color or like a month?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, I do. And I also...
Can you see pictures in your head?
I see pictures in my... You know, you and I are the same.
Some people can't, which is
yeah, and we're going to talk to the gentleman here, but I'm going to say this to him, but to the group. Yeah. We did a personality test in our Master Network group, because everybody that listens knows we're part of a networking group, but a few months ago. And everybody took it. I forget which one it was. There's a lot of them. But everybody was different, but Megan's and mine were identical. We are the exact same.
With all the letters.
The disc.
Yeah.
I think it was
Not the engram. It was
right. No. Yeah. Mike Toller put it together for us. But we're all creative. So why don't we start like we usually do with quotes to set the tone?
So I'll say the first.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I really liked this one because of who we have today. This quote is: "A great coach doesn't just lead; they inspire creativity. They inspire creativity in every solution." Okay, my brain stopped working. We're gonna reset.
Go ahead and repeat it.
It didn't flow right in my brain. A great coach doesn't just lead; they inspire creativity in every solution.
Right.
John Wooden. It says inspired by John Wooden.
Yeah, John Wooden, one of the best coaches in the history of sports, UCLA basketball. Okay, so then the next one is: leadership is the art of turning imagination into reality, one inspired step at a time. Period.
Wow, we're really good at our job.
Wow. This is why I need to have coffee in the morning, because I
had a cup this morning. I had Colombian, and then I got cinnamon dolce Starbucks creamer. It's so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we dive into some really cool conversation, let's have the coffee conversation for a moment. I normally don't drink the sweet.
Like, where's the coffee?
Do we need to make him some coffee? We can make him some coffee.
Too loud.
So normally I don't eat the sweet stuff over there. I usually get an Americano or just a brewed coffee, iced or whatever. I decided because it's Christmas time, look at this caramel brulee latte thing, right? And I tasted it, and I'm like, what is in this? It must be, I mean, obviously it's sugar, but I cannot stop thinking about it when I'm not having it. What is going on? It's actually really good. But I had it today, but I don't think there's any coffee in there. It's literally
just
sugar.
Yeah, sugar and milk.
All right. So I'm not doing that again because I'm pretty hyper, but I'm kind of off. So I apologize to everybody.
Well, this is real life here on the creative side of things. We do not edit things out.
We are organic.
Me and my dad are known for stuttering. We have ADHD. It's just who we are. Take it or leave it.
We are who we are.
You can skip over it.
So let me repeat.
That's how we're creative.
Right. So I'll repeat it. Leadership is the art of turning imagination into reality, one inspired step at a time. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to introduce this gentleman. I'm known, almost 20 years. His name is Alan Kovitz. He is the CEO, Grand Poobah, head chief of Elevations Unlimited for as long as I've known him. I mean, basically, I don't know Alan doing anything else. Well, actually, a little bit, but not that long. He had a job before this. But this is what he's known for, and he wants to be known for this because he's helped many, many people excel in their field, in personally and professionally, in leadership, in personal life, and everything else. As when you talk about coach, especially in our area, what is a business or a life coach? People that have been around here long. That's kind of, if there was a Webster's dictionary for Delaware, Alan Kovitz would be in that definition. And he's a friend, and he's a business colleague, and we've known him for a long time. So
because anyone can say they're a coach,
right? There's a lot of those.
There's a lot. And I got to have coffee with you, and it was amazing. Like, it was just as friends, and I learned so much just from an hour chatting with him. So I'm so excited for you to be here. Thank you for being here.
So
now
without further ado, Alan Kovitz.
Well, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
It's awesome.
One of the first things that Megan and I talked, like in the beginning when we first started, it's like, we got to have Alan at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so it was trying to find the right time to do that, and here you are. So welcome. Thank you it's an honor to have you. We're excited to talk to you, and we can't wait to share you with our audience. There's a lot of people here that know who you are, that listen to us or watch us, but there's people who don't, and that's what we're also going to know. We're going to get to know you, and because there's people who don't.
Yes. So for those people, could you kind of introduce yourself?
Tell us who you are, what you've done, a little deeper, the person, anything you want to talk about, but just so we can.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I've been doing what I do for decades, but, it goes back to the beginning. So I'm a native New Yorker. I was born in Brooklyn and raised in Queens in a little place called Howard Beach. And if anyone knows anything about Italians, Howard Beach is very Italian. That's where John Gotti was from.
Oh, nice.
So it was a very interesting place to grow up. That's all I'm going to say.
Good restaurants?
Outstanding restaurants. Okay. But we're going to leave it right there.
Right.
Okay.
Spent my high school years in New Jersey, in central New Jersey, and I went to Rutgers for 3 semesters, which was a great school, and I was in communications. I actually was on the radio, something that you don't even know about me, but I did the newscast.
Right. You had that radio voice.
You got that radio voice.
And I know that. And, I thought I wanted to be a sportscaster like a lot of us do.
Okay.
But then I took a year off of school, worked 3 jobs, saved up enough money, bought myself a car, and went to school in Tarkio, Missouri. You can look it up. It's the furthest northwest corner of Missouri. I wanted to get out of Dodge. You talk about lifestyle changes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big.
How does that happen?
Well, I can tell you how it happened, because they offered me a football scholarship, even though I hadn't played football since my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
They were looking to get people to go to school there. So
okay.
I went there. I never had to play football, and I wouldn't have played football. I played soccer there.
Okay.
But it was a school of 600 students, and that's when you get the best instruction. I remember some of my business classes, there'd be 3 or 4 of us in the class. And, so I knew the teachers. And
that's cool.
It was amazing. And I got to do so many different things. I acted at the theater. It's in the middle. I remember the first time I got there, I said, so let's go get a pizza. And they all laughed at me. A pizza? You want to get a pizza? For me, there were 17 pizza places within a half a mile. That's what I was used to.
Right.
The nearest pizza place is in Shenandoah, Iowa. That's 25 miles away.
I drive still.
If
you want to
don't think we didn't drive.
You're like, well, we're still going to go.
So, and the fun times there were going in the section roads. The cornfields are divided into mile blocks.
Okay.
So there's intersections between the miles, and you go to one of the intersections, you tell everyone where it is, they look on the grid, everyone goes there, on the back of a pickup truck, there's a keg of beer. That was your entertainment.
Nice.
So, talking about difference from New York and New Jersey
Very different.
To rural Missouri, but it was great.
Okay.
And I wound up at Pitt for my MBA, which was awesome, which was in human resources, and that's when it all started. But then I've done so many different things. I've had my own businesses in my 20s. But the bulk of my work was working on behalf of Anderson Window Distribution. Everyone knows Anderson Windows. So that's, before I started Elevations, that's really what I did. And what did I do there? I was in sales for less than a year. I was promoted to sales manager. I was sales manager in different areas around the country. And then I finally wound up running warehouses. And wound up running Delmarva Sash and Door Company.
That's when I met you.
Yeah.
So this is before you started.
It's before Elevations. Yeah, it's before. So I was running the warehouse there, and then I started. How to get out of the business.
Yeah.
I want to do my own thing.
Right.
Do you always feel like you were destined to be an entrepreneur, or did it just kind of fall?
No, I was an entrepreneur in my 20s.
Okay.
I had a ceramic tile installation company. In my mid-20s.
That's awesome.
So I've always been an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't sure if you were working for someone or if you started that in your 20s.
No, that was me. Me and a partner.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
was great.
awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Buddy from college.
So cool.
Yeah.
And wait a second, you're a published author.
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I've got 2 books that are published. One really is for sale, one isn't. One is called Elevated Leadership, and that is really a step-by-step way to create a strategic plan on your own and why it's important, why you should have a culture of goal setting in your organization and a vision for where you're going.
Yeah, I have it and I have read it. It's a very good book.
So that's one. That's one that I give out to clients. And then the other one, which has been doing very well, is a book of values.
Yeah.
52 values. So that one I really cherish. It took me 6 years to get through. During COVID, I needed help with a writing coach because every coach should have a coach. And she was the one that really pushed me over the line. So published it. It's going to be 2 years.
2 years, right? Yeah, 2 years.
I believe it's already been 2 years.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to write that, the book of values?
Well, what I found, Javi, was going into companies, I would sit around in a boardroom doing a strategic plan, and we would do the vision, so we would know where the company wanted to go. And then the next step in a great strategic plan is figuring out the values, really creating the culture of the organization. But what I found was the individual people around the table didn't have their own values sorted. How can they create values and a culture for an organization if they don't know their own culture, what they want, what they aspire to, what they need, what they want, how they want it to be, what kind of behaviors should be exhibited? So that's where it all came from. It was very frustrating for me, trying to create values or culture for an organization without the individuals having themselves sorted. So I said, you need something. So I looked up online, like a lot of us do, and there literally are maybe a handful of books. There's thousands on leadership. There's thousands on communication. There's tens of thousands on losing weight. But literally there's only a handful on values. And there are none that literally just, this is a fun book because it's a listing of different values. It's not comprehensive. It doesn't have them all.
Yeah.
It has 52, one for each week of the year. That was the intent.
I love that.
And that's it. It's just to get people's brains going. What really means to them? What's it mean to them?
Love the size of your books because they get to the point and they're not scary to read. And it's just it's not a bunch of sugarcoating.
None at all.
I know. I love that.
Learning.
I got to confess this, even though I've been, professional and an entrepreneur for a long time and doing things, I never had formally sat down to do my personal core values until I got that book. And I went through it like an exercise. I'm like, oh, that resonates with me. And then I went through the first, and then I filtered those.
Be handed out in high school.
And it was literally this exercise. And now I have them, I know them, I use them.
Yeah.
And it was because of that book. I never told you that, but I just wanted to.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And, I've heard that story a lot. And one of the cool places, it is used in high schools. Caesar Rodney the ROTC uses
Oh,
it.
that's good.
So I went and spoke to them, and then my buddy Jay Weedle, who's one of the heads of the ROTC over there, said everyone in ROTC is going to get this, and we're going to be discussing
That's
this.
wonderful. Yeah, Megan, I'm sorry. You did say, I stepped over when you were saying
okay.
that. So you said that it's, even elementary and in high schools.
High school, it should start
that's
being
awesome.
talked about, yeah.
Beautiful.
So, we're bringing it into companies. A lot of organizations I work with are bringing it in. We're talking about it. Tammy Ordway at Fall Casson, they spent a year. With all the people at Fall Casson talking about it. They had a meeting once a week.
To kind of develop what those are.
Yeah, for the individuals.
Yeah, that's great.
So it was just incredible. So I would encourage organizations to do it, large or small, individuals, obviously.
Right.
And to get to your point, Megan, about the size of the book. So I've read thousands of books, and a lot of business books. And the business books that are 500 pages long, I found that the story literally is in the first chapter and the last chapter. And all the stuff in between is a bunch of fluff that doesn't get to the point.
Doesn't get to the point. Yeah.
So one of my favorite books is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. That's 125 pages long. I've read it 5-6 times, maybe more. I've spent 2 weekends with the man.
That's awesome.
So I thought that's the kind of thing that holds my attention. Why wouldn't I bring that out in what I did?
Yeah.
Because I know people, look, today things are fast, furious.
Right. People I'm not trying to generalize, but I would assume, I would guess that a lot of entrepreneurs, people like us who are, time is very important. So we're the ones that pull out the highlighter and we're like, where's the meat? I want to get to the point so I can get actionable steps and learn something instead of this, beating around it for 4 chapters.
Absolutely. So that was intentional, because I
cool.
like to do the things. Why wouldn't I do things that I enjoy, that mean something to me, that I can use and expand on, instead of this book that's like yay big. I just don't see it. I don't want to see it.
No.
Now, speaking of you having a radio voice, would you do an audiobook? Or have you?
It's interesting. So if you know anything about audiobooks, every piece has to be done separately.
Okay.
Every chapter or?
Every chapter, every heading.
Okay.
So there's, even in a small book, it's thousands of pieces.
Oh, really?
That
Okay.
need to be done. Then it's put together. So it's not as easy as
It's just
me
reading it. Yeah.
Okay.
If it was, it would have been done already.
Yeah.
So it's not fluid, like you just read through it, you just do heading and then you say it and then you stop and there's a file and then, okay.
Yeah, now I'll get into something else with it, because when you listen to it, it's good. When you read it, it's a little better. If you listen to it and read it at the same time, it would be the biggest
That's
bang.
usually what I do.
You do that?
Yeah, that's how I read.
That is an amazing way to read, by the way. You're getting multiple repetitions of the material, so it sticks with you more.
I'm so proud of you.
I just need
And
it
here's the
so
other
that
thing.
I focus.
Javi, you said it. Highlighting.
Highlight. I do that all the time.
You can't highlight when you're listening unless you have something to write
Right.
on. So the book is intentionally made so that you can highlight it, go back, write in the margin, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, that's intentional.
And when we post the episode, we'll have links to
Yes.
for the book and
I have an app called, only certain books actually use this, but it's called Graphic Audio, and it's certain authors, when they do their audiobooks for storytelling books, they'll work with this company, and it creates ambiance as well. So if they're at the ocean, you'll hear the ocean while they're talking.
that's cool.
It's really cool.
That is
Kind of
really
puts
cool.
you in the
Puts
zone.
you there.
Yeah.
I've been asked by a lot of people to do it, and frankly, I looked into the cost. The cost to me was prohibitive
Okay.
compared to publishing the book. And the way I think I prefer people to use it would be to use it and write it and look at it.
Right. That's a good
That's
point.
all.
That's a good point. Question: entrepreneurs, should entrepreneurs have or embody a basic set of values? I'm not. We're not trying to put values impose on people because they're very personal. But there's this. Is there a pattern, should there be something that's baseline as far as? I don't know. I mean, this is a general statement. It was part of it is out of ignorance, and I'm curious. You have anything to say to that, or?
Yeah, I literally have one.
Okay.
One thing that might branch into others. I think because people are individuals, I've seen individuals with different values, that hold different values, be successful as entrepreneurs. There's no, if someone says, here's the recipe for being a successful entrepreneur, I think that's not the case. However, the one thing that I've noticed in the people that I love working with, they are risk takers.
Okay.
They are not afraid of failing. I mean, all the entrepreneurs that are afraid of failure, that just take a lot of time to make a decision, ironically fail. You know, but they don't learn from the failure. They think that's it. They're done. Many of my clients have failed multiple times, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because you learn more from failure than you do from success.
Yes.
So,
do you encourage reevaluating your values after a year or so?
All the time.
Or even...
Well, here's the story. So while I was in Florida working with my writing coach, when we were really buttoning things up before it went to the publisher, I changed one of my values.
Okay.
I realized that adventure is one of my values. It remains so to this day. It drives me. I like doing different things.
I see that. You have your motorcycle, or you used to. And
It's seeing different things. It's experiencing different things. Angie and I were watching something last night, and they were bungee jumping. She goes, "I'd never do that." I said, "I don't aspire to do that, but if I'm in the circumstance, I'll do it in a heartbeat." To me, it's an adventure, but I want to see all the different things. I want to explore. So I realized that was a value that I didn't give enough shrift to. So now I do.
That's cool. Should people, like, is there, I know there's not a fixed time, but maybe reevaluating your values, is that something that should be done around the goal setting time for the year? Like, is there a...
Whenever you feel that urge, maybe
for an organization, when they're redoing their mission, and I don't want to get into that in big depth. To me, a mission is the big hairy goal for the year, not a mission statement. I don't believe in mission statement. Okay. To me, that's a purpose.
Okay.
Different. But as far as strategic planning, you want to be goal driven. Mm-hmm. So you want to take one step closer to your vision.
Okay.
All right. So in that, you look at that nowadays annually. We used to look at it at a 3 to 5 year range, but things are really compressed. Mm-hmm. I would say definitely look at the values of the organization annually. Right. All right. Make sure everything is on par. What is not working? What should be working? What have we missed? And for a person, why not? It doesn't take long.
Yeah.
This is not a long exercise. Right. Why wouldn't you look at it? I look at mine all the time.
It's funny you say that venture, but I added this year one that people that know me for a long time, I haven't applied, but I do that now. It's play. It's one that I've always been nose to the grindstone, hustle. Yeah. Press, without taking a time to breathe and just do something for me that's recreational.
I love it. So, some of the networking groups I belong to now have used the Book of Values as part of our training.
Oh, I love that.
It is awesome. So imagine, 5 to 25 people talking about a value. That's what we do. So I was listening to a guy, and I don't present them. Other people around the room present them. And the guy says, I want to talk about inspiration. And he read the piece on inspiration, and we talked about it as a group. And I realized that's one of my core values, is inspiration. That's why I love doing this. If you asked me to do this, because I'm getting inspiration from you two today. That's why I like being with clients, because I get just as much from them as they get from me.
Right.
And we talk about that a lot, of surrounding yourself with people at this, like, that same mindset.
Yes.
It's also great to have people who are under you, at your level, and over your level. I think you can be inspired in all directions.
For sure.
Yes. I hear people say this, and I take exception to it, that you always should be in a room with people that are better than you, more accomplished than you. I throw the BS flag. Not necessarily.
I get you.
Yes, it's good. Mm-hmm. It's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But you said it, Megan. All people.
Right.
I've learned from children. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter how accomplished someone is for you to learn from. I think people don't take enough time to learn from people. They'll look at someone and say, well, they haven't written a book. I don't know them. Their business isn't very successful. This and that. They'll use every excuse not to learn from that person.
Yeah. There's an ego issue there, and that's deeper problem.
And I'm glad you brought up like the failure thing, because the value of failure is so important, and taking it as a learning experience of what not to do moving forward, or even it could be the thing that made you realize what you're supposed to do.
Like, I see what you're trying to say. Remember we talked about how we're very much like how do people reconcile their values when they encounter failure or setback? Is there again, we don't need to dive fully deep, but that's a big thing, because you start questioning things when you have things don't go your way, or yourself. I do.
I agree, and I don't think they do question their values, but they should.
Okay.
Because maybe it was the application of the value where they weren't paying attention to it.
Okay.
That led to something going wrong,
Or they had a value that they thought was a value, but really wasn't.
Bingo. Could be.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of narrows it out. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like with the digital age, it's changed people's values a lot because we have
social media, over
maybe we're
communication?
not prioritizing like human connection.
Come on, girl.
Do I think it's changed values? Perhaps. But I think they're still there. I think the biggest bangs I still get to this day is when I am with people.
Right.
Face to face. I can only handle so much Zoom. I use it in work. We do it. We had to do it. Mm-hmm. We don't have to do it now. And, to your points of the diamonds close to home.
Yeah.
There's so much work, business, cool people.
Right.
There's a million people in Delaware.
Yes.
I don't know all of them. I might know half of them.
It's a small state, but I'm always meeting someone new.
Yeah.
So,
and then that new person knows someone I know.
Exactly.
Of course. But there's a lot of inspiration to be gained from sitting down with someone or sitting down with a group of people. But I always get the most out of being present in a room with a group, having a deep conversation.
Connect.
And those are rare.
Yeah.
Very rare.
Right. This is good.
So with face-to-face, so when you work with, like, as a coach, you're doing are you trying to meet in person if you can?
Yeah. And, it's funny you say that, Megan, because I think of the thousands of people I've worked with, and I know if I still added it all up, I would say the majority of people I've worked with, I've never met face-to-face. Most of that work, especially in the early years, was on the phone.
Okay.
So I coached people on the phone. So I didn't even know what they looked like. It didn't matter. But as I've gotten more and more ingrained in Delaware, there's plenty of work to be done here. I don't have to go very far. And, I gained a client in Tucson, Arizona last year, so I flew out there. I insisted. That was part of the work. Not every week, but I needed to know the people, see them, connect with them. I think it's important, and you connect better in person. You just do.
Right.
So I encourage that. A new client that I start with in the next few weeks. And yes, it'll mean, a 15, 20-minute drive by him or by me, but we're going to sit down face to face because that'll be the best. I only want to do the best that I can do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the best.
Yeah. In person's the best.
And Alan and I, we saw each other on Tuesday, and we're talking a little, and I'm going to bring up some part of that conversation. I mentioned to Alan, Megan, in audience, that...
Pardon me.
No, it's okay. A lot of... There's no wrong or right here, but Alan, you've chosen purposely to... It's not a literal thing, but kind of remain in the shadows, meaning not be in front. You've grown organically. That's a big word these days, obviously.
It is.
And that's by design. So, and at least that was my perception. But when I brought it up to you, you agreed. Tell us a little about that. Has this why? And has this brought personal fulfillment? Tell me anything about that. Up in the world that everybody's out in front and showing themselves. Because you've shown a lot of success, and you continue to succeed.
So it's working.
It's working.
Let's say...
Because you're not shy.
I am not in any way. So let's say it started with a marketing opportunity. And the marketing I did was, I figured out that the easiest way to gain more business is with your current clients.
Yes.
Yep.
So instead of doing leadership development with a group of people or an individual and saying, bye, got it, figuring out a way to maintain that relationship somehow, some way. So many of my clients I've been working with for 15 years,
Wow.
20 years. So I don't have to get another client. I maintain the clientele, and I have a method for that.
There's a lesson there.
Yeah.
So the other thing was, that referrals are huge. And in my business, that's how I gain most of my clients. It's referrals. So you can say, I work via referral. So, and you can go into your spiel. I don't do that. I tell someone real simply, my business expands through referrals. That's all I say. On the invoice I send to a new client, I'll give them the fee for whatever we're doing, plus 2 qualified referrals. It's on the invoice.
Okay.
And they'll say to me, I didn't realize, I said, does that bother you? Of course not. Do I keep a log? No. Do I keep a scorecard or a spreadsheet? No. I know people that do. And then they'll ask people, you don't have to be so forward.
Okay.
That's not my way. I'm not a hard sell in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
You guys know that.
Yeah, we do.
So the people that need and want to work with me come to me. So I've created that environment to come with me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. There's a lot of nuggets in there.
And I think in that community of coaches, and it's a big thing now, that it really tells you about the coach. Because I didn't think about it till you just said that. If I go on like an Instagram for a coach and they have thousands of followers and stuff, and it's just them, I'm like, so do you care about your clients, or like, are you prioritizing? Like, is it all about you? Because then the whole point of their job is to help other people. So like, why is it your face plastered on everything?
You just answered my question.
I love this.
You
the
answered
wisdom
the question.
this young lady has.
Yes, and I knew. Remember, I told you, Javi, the first time I met her. I adored you, but I'm with a woman and you're married. You're married, and the age difference. But anyway,
we connected on the 70s.
Yeah, we did, which is really cool. But I think that my success is in helping other people succeed. Why wouldn't I showcase the people that I've worked with?
Right.
To me, it's one of the issues I found with networking groups that don't showcase the people that are in the group. They showcase the leaders of the group.
Okay.
That to me is anathema. I do not like that. It doesn't ring for me. Does it work? Of course it works. There are heroes out there. People want to be a hero. To me, it's about ego. My ego is suppressed so that I build other people's egos up. That's how I've become a successful coach. That's why the people that work with me become highly successful. They get into their own skin. Yeah. They find it. Right. And if they need to be, on top of billboards or what have you, or pump themselves up by patting themselves on the back or having many people pat themselves on the back, great. But me, not so much. I want to make the people that I work with, I push them out front. I did that same at the chamber. I retired from the board after 10 years. And I remember people coming up to me and saying, you can't. We need you. I said, no, you need more. You need more diversity on the board, first of all. When I started on the board of the chamber, I was just another old, bald, white guy. I said, this is not good.
Alan, you still are.
At least you're so
yes, I have not changed.
Self-aware
I have not changed.
I'm getting there.
But we needed females. We needed people of color. It was important, and so I worked hard to do that.
Nice.
And move myself in the
picture. Yeah, that is important, because if you're speaking for the community, you want to look like the community. You want to be the community.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right. So
if our higher ups would get that'd be great.
One thing at a time, my dear. Our spheres. We can do it in our spheres.
Yeah.
Let's go into some whimsical, fun questions.
Well, we started touching on it when you were cringing at his order, but do you prefer coffee or tea?
Yeah.
Oh, coffee.
You're a coffee guy.
Hands down. I am not a coffee-holic like Javier Santana is.
I have a lot.
And one reason is because of health and everything else. And I'm pretty disciplined. I might have a second cup of coffee.
Okay.
Might. Most days it's one cup of coffee and I savor it.
What's your go-to? Is it just straight up black coffee, or you embellish it?
I like half and half.
Okay. No sugar, no sweetener, just
no.
Okay.
Don't need any sweetener. I like the taste of coffee.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And anytime all the
sweets,
caramel, with all this stuff, forget about it.
When I was saying that earlier, we were offline, so I didn't, but yeah. Well.
We were. I thought we were recording.
Were we online? Were we online when I said the coffee?
I know.
I don't remember. No.
We'll see.
Well, I had a caramel brulee latte iced, and
it's okay to have a little dessert drink.
Yeah, dessert drink, but
It's like a dessert.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
but
it's not going to wake you up.
I don't think I had a cup of coffee yet today. That's what I'm saying. I had that sweet stuff, and that was not a cup of coffee.
That's not a cup of
I wonder how many calories are in that thing.
Oh my god, I can't, because I feel a little bloated right now, Megan.
but I tell you,
we only shoot from the waist up.
All right, so I can have people throwing darts at me. The one thing I do not like Keurig. To me, that's not.
No,
coffee.
we don't have Keurig.
No, we do Nespresso or.
I have a jeweler here who grinds the beans.
I love my Nespresso.
It's really good stuff.
You bought it for me.
Yes, I did. Because I love you.
It's the best. He got me so many. Are they still called K-cups for Nespresso?
No, they're not K-cups. Those are pods. Those are not the real.
I'm so sorry. Nespresso community.
Let's do some more fun questions.
Yeah.
If you have to choose an unexpected talent to wow us with a talent show, what is
in a talent show?
What is a talent you have? Maybe that's another way to phrase it that we don't know.
I knew you played an instrument.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is.
Drums.
Okay. Why didn't I know that?
I know.
You knew that, and I've known him longer. Maybe I did and I forgot.
Because I didn't play the drums really officially until 8 years ago.
Okay. Is there any recent videos of you playing?
Yes.
Can you send me those so I can incorporate them?
See if I can snag it. It was at the Blue Earl, like a couple weeks before they closed down.
Cool.
I was on stage at the Blue Earl.
I'm impressed. That's cool. That takes, having rhythm of, percussion, just.
And I love knowing people's hobbies because sometimes it's so opposite from what they do, or like it's like the most random thing.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Everybody should have a hobby.
Stop.
It's a good thing you pushed that. I was gonna reach across the table and hit that button.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I like knowing. Well, so drums aside, in an alternate universe, if you weren't a coach, what career do you feel like you would?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So
pursued.
We're gonna go two ways.
Okay.
Either I would have started playing the drums when I was a kid, because I'm not bad now. And I'm all self-taught. If I had taken lessons and really done it, my grandfather was a professional drummer. That's how he made his living.
That's cool.
So if he would have, when he passed away, in his will was not to give me the drum set because it was not a good lifestyle to raise kids. He was gone all night long and slept all day.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get back to the question. In the alternative universe, thought about this long and hard, and I would have been an attorney.
Okay.
For real.
You do argue well.
Thanks.
Yeah,
and a criminal attorney.
Okay.
Do you know like engram numbers?
Yes.
So I'm a 3, and I was looking through it yesterday, and it was like career attorney, and I was like, I can see that, but I hate school, so that wouldn't have worked out.
You do hate school.
I hate school.
And she's now unemployable.
Is it?
I love
Can
that.
you love learning but hate school?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Cool.
You learn all the
You
time.
haven't found the school that employs the learning that works best for you.
Yeah.
School of Hard Knocks.
Been there.
Right.
Got a few degrees.
But I get that with if I would have just stuck to it. I think we all have that instrument, that thing. You always say you would love to learn piano. You still have time.
I do.
Learn piano. I'll get you a keyboard.
Or a guitar. Because my
I
last
can help you
name, I
there.
should be able to,
Yeah.
You're not a Santana anymore, so you don't qualify.
I still play guitar. Still have a guitar.
Tossed aside just like
She
that.
went, I know. It's all good.
I think piano would be cool.
Piano would be.
Yeah. Or bass.
I actually would act. I would go into theater.
Well, you did get to a lot.
I have done theater before, like in.
Why don't you do some more?
I thought about it because I know you.
My daughter runs the
I love to.
Kent County Theater Guild.
I'm going to reach out to her because I was just telling Trevor, I was like, before I'm 30,
let's do it together. Javi and
I
Megan
would love
on
to.
stage.
I'm not singing, but I'll do
well,
No, they need
actors.
They need actors. And
I mean, by the way, I talked to Grace, my 14-year-old.
Yeah.
she would love to do that.
they have like a teenage time.
Okay, so we'll talk offline because I want to talk to your daughter. So
Yes, absolutely.
So we got to have the traditional question for everybody. If you back to coffee, if you could pick a historical figure, it doesn't matter when, fictional or real. Well, I said fictional. who would you have it with? A cup of coffee with? You had an hour with them. Ooh, that was a sinister laugh.
I think it would be Abraham Lincoln.
Ooh, yes, he's awesome.
I'm so interested in male psychology because psychology is so interesting to me, and every male guest has said Abraham Lincoln or what was the other one? Was it not George Washington?
I would do George Washington.
We get a lot of Abe, which is cool. I just love.
But he's one of the.
I'm tallying.
Wonderful. Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking Albert Einstein, but
No, that's good. That's good.
He'd be more fun.
Maybe so.
He would be.
Maybe so.
Yeah, that's cool.
Don't know.
What's yours? What's yours, Dad?
Washington, George Washington.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you like Hamilton, so I wasn't sure.
Alexander Hamilton, yeah.
Not the show.
No, the guy. No, the guy. I know. I read on after I got turned on to him from the perspective of the show because I love the show.
Mm-hmm.
I did read the biography that was read by the person who created the show, inspired it, and it was about Alexander Hamilton. It was fantastic. This the one founding father who didn't make it didn't get old. He got obviously killed in a duel with Aaron Burr, who was basically the Secretary of Treasury and the Vice President had a duel at the time. But he was an incredible guy, very flawed, like a lot of our leaders are. But that's okay. But they had a bigger purpose, and they were always
Would you
about.
ask Abe his values?
I probably would.
Yeah.
But I think we know them. Yeah. I think we've seen them.
And really cool hat.
To be able to do what he did with so much opposition, the amount of courage this man had.
Amazing. And here's even more. Do you know how many times Abe Lincoln ran for Congress? I think it was 10.
Oh, before he
was elected.
Wow.
So he has a litany. If you do any research on Lincoln, I haven't, but I know this. Mm-hmm. He's failed, more than any other person I know. In businesses and in government, and then he became president during a critical time, obviously. So that's why I want to speak to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really cool. So let me ask you a question. It's already been 45 minutes. I mean,
is that all right?
No, it's totally fine. We usually do about an hour, so we're good. No, but I mean, it doesn't seem like it. It's been a wonderful conversation. Let's get deep a little bit for a second. Talk to folks out there don't understand what a coach is, why they should have one. That's a first part of the question. I'll give you the second part after that. Any type of wisdom or any key takeaway that you could give to somebody as encouragement that's out there that's kind of, doesn't mean they have to be in the entrepreneurial space, but any person who, to give them encouragement to consider getting a coach of some capacity in their life. Is there any type of, I know that's a pretty broad, but I do that because I know you usually kind of find a place to kind of land and.
All right. So I'll go here. Why a coach? Mm-hmm. You can call a coach anything you want, but have someone in one's life that you can say anything to. And I mean anything. And if people say, and they've said to me, well, I can tell my spouse anything, I throw the BS flag.
Right.
I mean, right away. I know it's not true. I've been married twice. I've been with Angie for 12 years now.
Okay.
I know it's BS. There are things that I wouldn't say to her, and I love her dearly. There's nothing against her. So talking to my coach, so that's the biggest reason you have someone to talk to. Finding a good coach is very difficult.
Right.
Because most coaches want to prep you with this is the way for you to be successful. That's not the way I coach. I coach in helping someone find the way.
Okay.
That's my mastery, and I think that's what it is. And you do that through listening and asking the right question at the right time. I know, I had a coach about 10 years ago, and if I can find him, I'd hire him again. He used to ask me questions that would literally make my skin crawl. I mean, I would be like, oh my God, I never even thought about that. He didn't give me an answer. he asked me a question that opened up doors I didn't know existed. So I work like that.
So if somebody's seeking a coach, there's a due diligence they need to do in their shopping for, or, because so they land on somebody that's going to be appropriate for them. Is there any advice you can give that person?
Yeah, vet that human being. And to be honest, I do a mutual evaluation, because there's a lot of people I sit down across from, and there's no way I would coach them. Because I know they're looking for the answers. They're looking for me to provide the answers. I'm not going to give them the answers.
Okay.
I just don't. Because I can't step into any other human being and know their world.
Right.
Even if it's someone, even you two, as close as you are. And I'm close with my children and my relatives and my brother and sister. I'm close with them, but I'm not them.
Okay.
And they're different, and they think differently, and there are pathways in the neurons that work differently. So it's figuring out what's the best way to handle an issue, a specific issue or a grand issue, or just going through life as a whole. So, and it's different for everybody. So coaches that's this is the way you do it. To me, I wouldn't work with a coach like that, and I haven't, nor am I a coach like that. Are there places for coaches like that? Of course.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that are so afraid of going within to make the decisions for themselves that they're looking for other people to lead them.
Yeah, and it's the wrong pretense. Like, that's unfair for that to be expecting that. But, right?
But Javi, I'm going to say that 90% of coaches, that's how they coach.
Okay.
I did it, so just follow my path. This is what I recommend. I can't recommend to Megan what she needs to do to sell clothes.
Do you want to?
That wasn't me, by the way.
We'll cut that out. Let's let him have his cough. I don't want to keep that in. Everyone take a sip.
It's a dry cough.
So
no, keep going. It's okay. You don't have to stop it. Okay.
just edit it, right? So, but it's different, Javi, and I realized even, I belong to a cadre of coaches. We help each other out.
And you said coaches. You have coaches. So
Yeah. I've got a number of them. I've had a number of them over the years.
From my perspective, what's interesting, and maybe give me a yes or no. We have blind spots, so somebody is there by our side, seeing things that we can't see. We trust them, so
Yes.
if you rebuke me and I trust you, I receive it in the right way, or maybe that's not a wrong word, but make point me to this is what I'm seeing. But to me, my number one value is trust. So obviously that has to be there.
Is there a difference between a coach and a mentor? Or is it usually?
Great question.
Because sometimes I feel like mentors naturally happen that where you're not paying someone, they just end up being.
Yeah, of course. I mean, to me it's terminologies, but I think we all need mentors and coaches. They're two different things. And a mentor, to me, is probably in the field that you're in.
That's what
you do.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So that there's specific help in that one area.
Yeah.
But to me, life is full of a lot of things, not just your vocation. A lot of people concentrate on that, but I think there's multiple areas. And when I work with people, we explore all those different areas. And in some
Not
of those,
just business.
Not just business.
Yeah.
So that's why when someone calls me a business coach, yeah, I am. Someone calls me a life coach, yeah, I've never liked that term, but it's all encompassing.
Yeah.
It's whole life, if you will. I don't know. We look at. I have people look at everything in their world.
Because it does touch it. It does overlap. You can't really separate it.
But people do.
Yeah.
And there are coaches that play in either spot, and it's all good. I just take a wider view.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
overlapping is completely normal because, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, so it's hard for me to separate Megan from my business. It's me.
It's you.
So it's healthy to separate it, but at the same time, it's still who I am.
It's who you are, and
sometimes
intertwined.
how I'm creative is through the business, not like a separate hobby. It usually connects. So.
Right.
But when I thought of mentor, my mentor is someone in that same space, so that makes sense that you said that. it's
I thought I was your mentor.
What? You're my father.
Who's your? ¿Quién es tu papi?
I'm your mentor. No,
Megan.
When I thought of
he is your father.
When I thought of my mentor, I immediately thought of Amber in Chicago from because she runs a multi-million-dollar boutique.
That's right.
And we become really good friends.
You have, and she's in their space.
Yeah. So she's a great person who will understand the exact issues I'll be dealing with in that space. Okay. But with coaches, it can overlap, elsewhere. Right, but then you're like, well, you're not my therapist. Like, that's a separate thing.
That is. I want to go there.
Yeah, please.
I want to go there. So it's not psychiatry or therapy and here's the big difference. That field of work looks for issues from the past that still manifest themselves in someone, and they work to help people overcome those issues. The way I coach is helping people look at today and where they want to go and create the plans to get there.
That is the best explanation I've ever heard of that.
All right. So that's what I do. Do things from the past come up? Of course they do. And if they're really nasty, sometimes I'll recommend someone go, that's nothing.
Right.
But you can create a plan to overcome a trauma from the past. You can. So it's another tool in someone's toolbox. I don't have the expertise of helping someone who is traumatized in some way, in a specific way that they can give a specific answer to. But I can help people create a plan so that it's not a big part of their world anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's a really good way to...
The biggest takeaway with today, our topic is that everyone listening needs to figure out what their values are. Because I guarantee you,
yes,
at least half of the people listening don't have them.
Take the time to do this.
90%.
Like, you were our connection to even think that being a thing. Like, I was the same. Like, it took your meeting you and your book to realize that that's something that should be prioritized.
Yeah, right. They govern your behavior. I mean, they're like the framework of how you are and how you act.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll put a link for the book. It's a really good. This show wasn't about that, but I mean, I read the book. It's incredible. It's short. It is concise. It is a workbook. But it is a great read, and so that's the takeaway for everybody. Put together your core values, your personal core values. It's going to change the way you see things and the way you navigate, because that will be your guidepost. Your compass. That's a better word. Thank you.
Your guidepost.
Right.
Compass. You're over it. I gotta take that away from you.
Hold on. Which one is this one?
When you figure out your values.
When I figure out my values.
All right. So
yes.
my coach hat is off. My friend hat is on, because I'm going to give you something you should do. You should have control of that.
I agree. I would do really good.
People have been saying that since season 1, but I'm still here.
It's because I just need to
Big Poppy.
get here
I'm
early.
the play-by-play. You're the color commentator, or is it the other way around?
I would love the button.
You're the Poppy. You get
little pop. One big Poppy now.
They call me. That's what my
Big Poppy?
grandkids call me.
Nice.
So we usually love kind of wrapping up with, if you could give a piece of advice to kind of to our audience that goes with what you do. And I know that's a very broad thing, but usually people kind of
one
have
nugget
a
that they can
go-to
take away.
thing
We've gotten a lot of them today, but yes.
Avi, you already know what I'm going to say. If you don't have a coach,
Get one.
Yes.
Yes.
I
love that. I love that.
Such a great episode. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
I need to reevaluate my values.
And by the way, everybody, I did not have a stroke or a heart attack. I'm okay.
We need a diffuser in here.
Oh my Lord.
For him.
It's that dry cough, So okay, let's go ahead and send off Miss McCulley.
Oh
Mrs.
my gosh, I love
McCulley.
Mrs. McCulley. Well, that Right Brainers wraps up another gem of an episode. I don't know if you guys have seen what we did there with the little pun.
Yeah.
On the creative side of things, if you want to see us,
you can see our smiling faces.
We didn't ask him. Are you more of a watcher or a listener?
Of podcasts
in general.
Or do you even? Okay, that's fine.
Audiobooks.
No.
Okay.
I like to read a physical book.
No problem. But if you want to watch us, because we have cameras here, we're on YouTube. at the creative side of things. You can get our links there. But if you want to also listen to us, we're on the streaming platforms. Which platforms are we on?
We're practically everywhere. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and even Google Podcasts. So you can listen to us while you're on the go. I love listening to podcasts while I'm driving to our sessions.
Yes, absolutely.
I am so busy that it's hard for me to sit down and read. So I love an audio.
And we love our ever-growing community of right-brainers. Yes. So thank you all for following us or liking us or just commenting. We love the comments, and we love as we continue to grow this community. Thank you so much. We're just getting started. Yeah. So thank you again, Alan, for being on the show. And, I should stop calling this a podcast. This is a show.
Our show.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Right. Thank you.
It's much more than a podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
It's more than a podcast. New slogan.
And always remember, right?
That the world needs your creativity because you're creative.
Yes. Go create something.
Go create something. Bye.